Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. It is Friday. Hope you guys had a great Friday today. It is the end of the week. Those who have the weekend off, we have Labor Day over the weekend, who have a 3-day weekend. Congratulations, you are awesome. I'm just kidding. Well, no, not that I'm just kidding that you guys are awesome because I know you guys are awesome. But overall, just a little jelly belly, just a little bit, just a little bit. Because I know I've got to work on Saturday and, most likely on Monday. But all in all, just, hope you guys are gearing for an amazing weekend with your family, safe, fun, loving, and just, that's where great memories are made. So, yeah, so let's go ahead and jump on into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. All right, on tap for you today, our show, we're going to have our WWE Smackdown preview. We're going to have our My Thursday Night Wrestling review, Ring of Honor and TNA. Also, we're going to talk about Shane McMahon. A lot, ever since you saw that John Moxley promo on AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, a lot of wrestling promotions, a lot of, cage side seats, ringside news, inside the ropes. There's speculations stating that this is possible, like maybe like an AEW invasion kind of aspect of it. So, gonna go through that. Maybe Shane and John Moxley team up and have a couple of other superstars that aren't AEW necessarily. So we're going to talk about that, and then our fourth segment, we're going to talk about WWE Bash at Berlin. I'm going to give you guys my predictions. We're going to break down the matches, and in our fifth and final segment, we're going to talk about what I leave you guys every Friday. You go on to the weekend every Saturday and Sunday. Some cool, awesome wrestling news to kind of ponder over a little bit. We're going to talk about that in our fifth and final segment in our wrestling news roundup. So yeah, let's go ahead and dig on into it. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to use the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Honestly, go ahead and use that super chat box. Use that super chat. It's right under that $ below that chat box. Whether if you have a burning question in terms of professional wrestling or a hot take or just an opinion here at the GSMC Sports Network, if you want to get if you get whatever you want to get off your chest, we support it here at the GSMC podcast.net. So we are absolutely all ears. We are all about making this podcast, bigger, better, and stronger than ever for, basically everybody who's tuning in. So don't be afraid to hit up your the chat section. Go ahead and if you really want to make sure your comment or question gets read on air, I ask you guys to use that super chat box. Just hit that $ below the chat box. It'll, send in a message, but it's guaranteed to be featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to support our channel, keep the lights on in terms of bringing you the greatest wrestling content in terms of professional wrestling, in terms of podcasting, and just all of our sports podcasts. So make sure you tune into that. Make sure you do that. We are absolutely 1,010% grateful for each and every one of you who joined us here daily. Your support makes a lot of the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Send in those super chats. Let's keep the conversation going, and together we will make sure this show is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. So make sure you guys hit those super chats, the super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. All right, so let's go to talk about our WWE Smackdown preview. It's going to be a great one. Obviously, it is taking place in in Berlin, Germany. Should be a great one. Tonight we are at the Uber Arena. It's kind of crazy. They're anticipating ticket sales up to 12,000 to 13,000 to even 14,000 people. That's a lot. That's a lot. Obviously, live on Fox, Fox 11. Well, I don't even know if Fox 11 is, I don't even know if that's universal. But overall, I don't know. Go ahead and tune into SmackDown there. We have Andrade taking on Carmelo Hayes. These guys are, they're building for, a story. They're building for a story. These guys are going back and forth, trying to get the best of one another. Obviously, you have Andrade kind of leading the mix right now. Carmelo Hayes is, creeping up. But I feel like he's going to win tonight. I feel like he kind of has to win. Overall, I feel like, it'd be best for WWE to have Carmelo Hayes part of the storyline. He was so great in WWE NXT with Andrade coming back, especially, since he came back from AEW. He's been looking for a spot in terms of WWE. He's always been there. Absolutely, 1,010%. He's, ever since he made his debut from AEW, He's just been a man on a mission. Be like, hey, I make it back to WWE. Show me the reason why I should stay because he's a great talent, such a great talent. All right, next we have Baron Corbin taking on Santos Escobar. Baron Corbin has been kind of everybody's favorite babyface, and nothing, not really pandering to the crowd. Well, he does, but he doesn't. Obviously, teaming with Apollo Crews is, it's going to put you in, any kind of wrestling fandom there all around. But against Santos Escobar, I want to see Legado del Fantasma be successful in the WWE, especially within the tag team division. But right now, it's not really. I don't know. It's not really practical. It's not really happening. Obviously, it's something that could probably take a little more work in terms of WWE and the creative styles. Well, it seems like whenever it comes to luchadors, Latin American wrestling, they're always going to be pushed to the wayside a little bit here. Baron Corbin, I love Baron Corbin as a face. I absolutely love it 1,010%. But he's not really a face. He's kind of like that new age, like Randy Orton, where you don't really hate him, you don't really like him, but he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that he's successful. You see him teaming up with Apollo Crews when Crews lost the match. Obviously, he looked pretty frustrated, but he overall, he kind of like, kind of sucked up basically all the animosity that he felt toward his tag team partner, and he kind of put it away. So Baron Corbin, I feel like is going to he's going to have a great match tonight. Next, we have Nia Jax against Michin. The WWE Women's Championship is on the line in a street fight. A street fight match tonight. Should be pretty interesting, but all in all, we all know that Nia Jax is going to win. The reason why they kind of book Michin in these kind of matches is, just to be like, you know what, although she does lose, it's overall, I feel like it's what's best for the wrestling promotion. Exactly like why Michin is dabbling in TNA, not TNA, sorry, NXT, also in Monday night, Friday night SmackDown. I can't talk today, sorry. But overall, Nia Jax has to prove that she's dominant. She has to prove that she can hang in the ring with the best of the best. And I'm not saying Michin is the best of the best, honestly, to the point where I'm like, you know what? Maybe she's like a glorified, like, kind of jobber here. I'm just kidding, no. But I don't know. In a street fight, Michin kind of has the upper hand. No disqualification works in her benefit as opposed to Nia Jax. So I don't know. It should be pretty awesome. All right, we also have the LA Knight issuing an open challenge for the United States Championship. I've read a bunch of speculations over the past couple of weeks. People are maybe John Cena answers it, maybe Solo Sikoa, maybe somebody else that you haven't seen in a while, maybe a WWE Raw superstar. A lot of things make sense for Giovanni Vinci. He's a German wrestler. When it comes to like something that WWE has done so well with Mansoor in Saudi Arabia, also with Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle. You just kind of panders the crowd a little bit. You kind of, what, like we want to see this hometown guy. Like, what, I've competed in Germany all my whole entire life, so root for me. And then he's gonna get the hometown vocal. So that should be, that's gonna be next. Next we have Santos, not Santos. We have what's gonna happen with the bloodline. At this point on WWE Smackdown, I think something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. Is this the last episode they have on Fox 11? I think this is September 13th. No, no, no. They have 2 weeks. No, this is their 1-1. So obviously Fox 11, they do get a lot more viewership in terms of from that age of 19 to 41 demographic that wrestling promotions ultimately target. But I don't know, I just feel like if WWE wants to make the ultimate step, you're going to see something big tonight. Obviously, the big pay-per-view before the move. Both brands are going to be on the USA Network. And if they want SmackDown to be taken seriously or WWE Raw, me as a wrestling fan, and I can imagine from outside perspectives, when you see both, promotions going on the same channel, you're like, dude, why not just have them, kind of like become one here, kind of become one. So that could possibly be meaning to like foreshadow something toward the future, maybe in a cross promotional brand kind of fight. Overall in Survivor Series, I would love to see TNA go at it with WWE NXT. Imagine if, some way, somehow AEW musters up a team to take on Team WWE. That would be so cool. My fandom is going crazy right now, But here on SmackDown, it's just, we kind of have all the matches that we already know that's going to happen. But overall, I hope in terms of, Roman Reigns hasn't fought since WrestleMania when he lost the title to Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, the Undisputed Championship. But overall, I just, I want to see a match. I want to see a match with Roman Reigns. I thought they were gonna have like a tribal chief match for those chilies, but it doesn't seem like it's kind of heading toward that direction, seeming that there's only 5 or 6 matches happening. And then once again, kind of, growing to my chagrin of why WWE PLEs, when they're not in the United States, are like less than like 7 or 6 matches. I know Triple H Paul he loves the quality over quantity, but overall, he's got to get the fans what they want. Got to get the fans what they want. All right, so now we're going to talk about my Thursday night wrestling review. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into the world of Ring of Honor, also the ring of TNA. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, I'll diss my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, I'm losing shit. A stupid myth, you choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. Just going to reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE Friday Night Smackdown preview. Obviously, it is their last, their last show before the biggest event in German history, the Bash of Berlin, which is kind of cool. Like, overseas, they pay attention to a lot of what WWE is doing. The UK, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Scotland, also Germany. They're the top people who watch WWE. So having a lot of superstars that, that come, a lot of people think that who's going to answer the USA Championship open title match between LA Knight and a guest. It could be John Cena. That would be pretty badass. For me, but John Cena, I don't think he's going to begin until he's like in like 2025 mode. But overall, I feel like it's open up right now. That's the kind of luxury. Maybe Logan Paul comes back. Maybe he finds a way to kind of, fight his way into the fray. But overall, I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. All right, for now, we're going to jump on into my Thursday night wrestling review. We're going to talk about Ring of Honor first. TV live results. Mina Shirakawa going against Rachel Ellinger. Mina Shirakawa will return to Ring of Honor on tonight's weekly Honor Club TV show against Rachel Ellinger. It's Shirakawa's first Ring of Honor appearance since April's Supercard of Honor and her first Ring of Honor singles match. And, since a March win over Anna Jay, Ellinger is looking for a second straight victory. And victory against Anna Jay, that's something that's not really taken lightly. She's a great superstar. I thought this match was great. This match overall, I watched highlights. It was amazing. But Mina Shirakawa just showing why she's so prominent in terms of professional wrestling, showing why she's kind of like the big doll. You know what I mean? Like she's fighting right now. She's kind of fighting demons. You're like, who am I going to support? Tony Storm or Mariah May? But overall, overall it's hard to decipher. It's hard to decipher. But right now, Mina Shirakawa is definitely one of the best women's wrestlers in the independent scene like Ring of Honor, TNA. So definitely hoping to see her kind of do things bigger, better moving forward. Other than that, it was announced that Johnny TV going against Sydney Akeem, Blake Christian versus Rosario Grillo and Layla Gray versus Promise Braxton. In addition to the matches featuring Top Flight, was going to be kind of postponed. It's going to see what was next for the Shane Taylor Productions. We saw a proven ground match between the Women's Ring of Honor World Champion Athena going against Aaliyah James. She defeated her, which not really a surprise because you have Athena kind of ruling ass absolutely everywhere, 1,010%. It was interesting. It was to a point where she had a shot. She did have a shot, but it wasn't good enough. Athena's just, I don't know. She's just the best right now. You can't really dethrone her, and then, after beating down, then, when Abaddon showed up, Athena's eyes filled with fear as Abaddon stared her down in the ring. The crowd chanted, "This is spooky." And, Abaddon, yeah, Abaddon chased Athena from the ring where Starks lay in wait and clocked Abaddon with the Ring of Honor World Women's Championship belt, knocking her out cold. It was all part of the plan. It was all part of the ruse. For me, I feel like Athena definitely has a lot of potential, a lot of potential. She's the longest reigning Ring of Honor World Women's Champion. In terms of the promotion in Ring of Honor, she's definitely, she has that it factor, which is great for her. I feel like overall, that's probably the best thing that, uh, that Ring of Honor could have is someone like her representing your brand. Obviously, I remember Athena when she was Ember Moon in WWE NXT, and she was still very much damn near impressive. No one can really take her down, but I don't know. This is spooky, Chan. A lot of people kind of pandering toward this October month coming up, and it's not even October yet. We're still in we still have to face September. You have the White Six on Monday Night Raw. People be like, okay, I want to see some horror movie like film, this horror movie like promos, backstage, like it's not the same, man. Oh God, it's a lot of people have this misconception that it is the same, but it's in terms of wrestling fans who I've been a wrestling fan since the moment I could walk, and it's just I don't know. I just feel like it could be better. Johnny TV with Tower Valkyrie defeated Sydney Akeem. We also saw Lance Archer defeat Aussie Rev Pro undisputed British Women's Champion Mina Shirakawa defeated Rachel Ellinger, like we talked about earlier. And also we saw Top Flight Darius and Dante in action. Andretti with Layla Gray defeat Ace of Space. Academy, Ace of Space Academy, LSG, Colton Charles, and GMK. Action Andretti, I feel like is like one step closer to becoming like a full-time superstar, becoming someone like kind of like a household name. Is he going to be the next person to challenge for the X Division Championship? Obviously, I'm still like, I don't know, maybe, but I don't know. It's kind of moving forward. It should be pretty crazy. EJ Ndoku defeated Demi Diamond in a match. We also had the Dark Order. Evil Uno defeated Jacoby Watts and Nick Camarado. Premier athletes Josh Woods and Mark Sterling defeated Barrett Brown. Sorry. Layla Gray defeated Promise Braxton. Blake Christian defeated Rosario Grillo. Tomohiro Ishii defeated Arya Daivari, which was kind of, it was great. He needed that bounce back after he lost on AEW Dynamite. So, obviously bringing some glory to the conglomeration. Ring of Honor Pure Championship match. We saw Lee Mayorti, the champion of Shane Taylor Productions, defeated Angelico with Serpentico, which was, the Shane Taylor Productions essentially has kind of taken over Ring of Honor. So, maybe kind of looking forward to something bigger, better, and stronger than ever. But, overall, I just don't feel that I don't feel like the Shane Taylor Productions really have the juice enough to be like, look, like, go over, we could totally, kill these guys. But I don't know, it just doesn't really make sense to me. Next we have TNA Impact. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. We have oh God, hold on. Why does this have to happen right now? Sorry, my notes are kind of going a little haywire here. If you have a iPhone, obviously you know what I'm, kind of what I'm talking about here. So overall, it was a great episode of TNA Impact. You saw a Spanish fly for the win for Speedball Speedball Bailey, which was kind of great for him. Gio Miller stood between Jordan Grace to talk about the match with Ash by Elegance. Like it created a lot of speculation saying that maybe Ash could possibly pull out the victory. Brian Myers going up against Joe Hendry. Before the match began, Joe Hendry grabbed the mic and poked fun at Brian Myers in typical Joe Hendry fashion, calling him Edge's B word, BITCH. If you want to spell that out, go ahead and do that. But overall, if you don't, it's cool. The match began with a cheap kick from Myers, and Hendry followed up with a jumping knee to face Cindy Myers into the corner, landed a huge stalling suplex and send him into the corner. Overall, you saw Joe Hendry was still very much impressive, very much impressive. Myers, he beat down Joe Hendry until the momentum when Myers went for a spear, but Hendry popped him up in the cutter, starting Myers up with punches. He connected with a huge fall-away slam and a massive clothesline, scoops up Myers for the standing ovation and picks up the victory. Joe Hendry is victorious, which is pretty badass. Love that. We saw Eddie Edwards lose to Mike Santana. Mike Santana is still, building up momentum with this match, with the system. The system is basically almost dead, but overall, I guess there's still a chance. Matt Cardona gives an update about his injury, letting everybody know that he is not cleared to compete at Emergence, but has a mystery opponent for PCO at Emergence. That's always fun. That 1,010%. That's always fun. So I can, guarantee something, pretty awesome is going to happen. Obviously, you saw Frankie Kazarian, you saw Steve Macklin join commentary with Eric Young and, Hammerstone. I think Hammerstone picked up the victory. I'm not too sure. Picked up the response 24 hours. Hammerstone defeated Eric Young. ABC and Coney Diener, against Jake something. Overall, it was a great match. And obviously, you have TNA Emergence tomorrow. Yeah, wait, tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. Damn. Holy crap, that's crazy. Time flies when you're having fun, right? But AJ Francis is, kind of in the rearview mirror here. And Rick Swann, had a very clear message to TNA about the TNA World Tag Team Championships from Ace Austin and, Dashing Chris Bay. But, overall, you saw ABC defeat Cody Diener and Jake something, which was actually pretty badass. I like that. Jordan Grace, I think, she defeated Ash by Elegance, which is, pretty badass because I feel like there's still, this match could be probably bigger, better, and stronger than ever with a little bit of, it's the top tier talent in terms of, TNA Impact. Definitely both of these superstars have what it takes to, kind of be the next one that he saw sit down between Nick Nemeth and his challenger, Josh Alexander. We're going to fight in not a street fight, in last man standing. Damn it. Iron Man match at Emergence on Friday. So I can't wait to watch that. It's going to be super sick. So, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and jump on into our third segment. We're going to talk about Shane McMahon, maybe a possible AEW invasion. So, before we get into any of that, I want to remind you guys to grab your favorite snack, your favorite drink. Also, show me what you're working with. Show me what you work with. Give me some chats. Definitely 1,010% want to make sure this podcast gives you guys an open arsenal, also an open, kind of invitation to kind of give me what you guys have to think. I'm going to answer. I have Ezek Delgado's chat. We're going to talk about when we come back. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right. Welcome back to the Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Going to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage drama, behind the curtain, speculations. Also, we talk about injury, inactive statuses, rumor updates, also, injuries. We all from promotions like WWE, the AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA, the MLW, the GCW, also the NWA. If it makes professional wrestling news, headlines, we talk about it here on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. So let's go ahead and, talk about what we talked about here on this show. We had our first segment. We talked about our WWE Smackdown preview. We had my Thursday Night Wrestling review, Ring of Honor, TNA, and now we're going to talk about Shane McMahon possibly coming to AEW for an invasion. So, oh my God, it's so crazy. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to hit up that super chat. We absolutely 110% love hearing from each and every one of you guys on the show, whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, or it's just something that you want to get off your chest and share. We at the GSMCpodcast.net or, at the GSMC Sports Network, we are absolutely all ears. The show is all about keeping the conversation lively and making sure your voice is part of the mix. So don't be shy and drop those thoughts and chats inside the mix. Also, we really want to make sure your comment and question gets read on air, guys, and make sure it gets noticed. Why not use that super chat? Just hit that $ below the super chat box, send in the message, and it's guaranteed that your question, comment, or concern will be featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to keep the lights on and bring you even more awesome wrestling content. Well, in other cases, like sports content, coming your way. So we are absolutely 1,010% super grateful for each and every one of you guys who tune in daily. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Keep up those super chats because you guys are super awesome. Hit up those super stickers. Also, together we will make sure this show is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. And once again, if the super chat thing is not your thing, we are still at the GSMCpodcast.net. Hit up that tips and donations link. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Give me your comments, questions, and concerns. Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Also, we're here to talk about professional wrestling. So let's go and just dig on deeper and talk about some good old-fashioned professional wrestling. All right, so we're going to talk about Shane McMahon in AEW. When Shane McMahon was rumored of, coming to AEW, I'm kind of for it. Because overall, you have someone with the business sense in terms of professional wrestling, and he's kind of seen the best and the worst of what WWE honestly really has to offer. Why not use this guy to kind of get you something positive? He was turned away from WWE because he wanted to be a wrestler. Yeah, I get it. Not a lot of people want to, sign like a 40-plus-year-old guy to wrestling content and stuff like that. But overall, Shane McMahon is a huge reason why WWE is the reason why it is right now. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, Eric, what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about?" When Vince McMahon was going through his stuff every single time, and I don't want to keep, reiterating the fact that, there's allegations against, Grant, with the sexual trafficking, and it's just not good. And Shane McMahon has done such a good job of kind of staying clear of that. kind of like, whenever you watch Game of Thrones or basically anything in terms of a monarchy, hierarchy, when, a lot of people are like thinking, they're like, you know what, the prince is not like the king, and then, that's why they kind of denounce their name. They're like, you know what, I honestly don't want to be the leader of WWE after everything that has happened between my father. And now you kind of have your brother-in-law running it. So WWE and AEW, for potential on-screen collaboration, I still feel like it's alive. I know they recently interviewed the guy from WWE, backstage saying that there's no possible way in hell. We will never ever basically, team up with AEW, which would be, I feel like it'd be terrible. Like, obviously, if you think that way, you're not thinking of the fans. You're not thinking of the fans. I feel like, if somebody could, take AEW into the next level, it is Shane McMahon. It could possibly be Shane McMahon. On AEW Dynamite, you have John Moxley come out basically saying that this is not your company anymore. Showing a cryptic message. Like, this could be a message to Tony Khan. This could be a message to the EVPs, Matthew Nicholas Jackson, who's been running AEW ever since they kind of had that, the creators clause or whatever the hell you want to call it. But overall, if you want somebody to finally have this collaboration between WWE and AEW, Shane McMahon is probably the best bet. He could talk to his brother-in-law, Triple H Paul Levesque, and it's very much possible. It could be so much possible. And that's something that wrestling fans, including myself, are looking forward to. Imagine John Moxley coming in with 3 WWE talents would be so crazy. Would be so crazy. But Shane McMahon, he's a businessman. He knows exactly what he wants to do. I feel like right now he kind of has one foot in the door in terms of professional wrestling, but one foot out, knowing that, you know what, I feel like if I'm part of any wrestling promotion, they're going to use my name to put up tabloids, and it's just going to get nasty. Because you're going to have a lot of negative publicity. You're going to have a lot of people kind of gunning for you, and, so to speak. I don't know. It's just, Shane McMahon could definitely change AEW for the great. Tony Khan needs somebody kind of like that at this point. Tony Khan has been kind of, he played with the idea of the elites and Matthew and Nicholas Jackson becoming like these new guys that's going to invade AEW and take over. Yay, it's so cool, so badass. But it didn't work. It did not work 1,010%. The fans hate it. Me as an AEW fan, I hate it. Okada could be doing a lot better. Jack Perry, not really kind of dabbling himself in terms of what the elite has planned. So right now you kind of have Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, kind of on their own. So I feel like overall it'd be perfect for these superstars to kind of phase out. It's time for someone to kind of step up and be like, you know what, you guys, you know what, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, you guys couldn't do what it takes to be like, those next guys, to be a reason why people show extra cameras and they take extra pictures on our events. It's not black or white, obviously. There are some gray areas that I feel like the Young Bucks have, but I don't know. I'm just ashamed to call myself a Young Bucks fan, and I love the Young Bucks. But overall, with Shane McMahon coming to AEW, the reason why Tony Khan took the meeting to begin with is because why not? Why not have somebody who's been within the professional wrestling industry for decades, supporting his, goofus of a father? He was able to kind of go out there, kind of create his own thing. Shane McMahon has done such a great idea of kind of like, backing off, be like, look, like, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Like, hey, Shane, you want to take over WWE? He's like, no, man, I'm good. I'm good. I got my family. I got my own, personal, financial endeavors. But the best thing, absolutely 1,010% for Shane McMahon and AEW, they need to sign him. They need to sign Shane McMahon. And I was kind of going through this with, ever since you saw Ricochet debut, Will Ospreay, Mercedes Moné. I feel like right now AEW is 1 or 2 stars away from being an absolute wrestling juggernaut. And if you can honestly, if you can get Shane McMahon at a decent price, why not try it? Why not try it? I feel like it'd be overall beneficial for a lot of what AEW has to offer. So yeah. All right, guys. All right, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our 4th segment. We're going to talk about WWE Bash at Berlin predictions. So grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me in about in like 20 seconds.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. We are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and out, behind the news, drama, behind the curtain, speculations. Maybe somebody debuts, maybe they don't. Maybe they leave WWE, maybe they sign with AEW. We can talk about it here on the podcast. If it makes professional wrestling headlines, we talk about it here on the GSMC Sports Network, brought to you live by the GSMC Sports Network. So yeah, let's go and talk about our next topic, WWE Bash of Berlin predictions. But before we get into any of that, I just want to remind you guys to always hit up those super chats, hit up the super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. Keeps the conversation going, keeps the conversation very, very lively. It also makes sure that you can get more content from the GSMC Sports Network. Keeps it, going over and over and over again. So you guys can, get some of the best podcasters I have ever had the honor of working with. Everybody has their show, the GSMC basketball podcast with Nelson. We have the fantasy sports podcast with my boy, Chris Shepard, teeing up. Basically every single one of these guys I've learned from, watching them, being entertained, smiling. If you want to feel all 5 feelings of nostalgia, you want to watch these podcasts, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I give you the Eric Rodriguez guarantee that you will not be disappointed in watching any podcast produced by the GSMC Sports Network, because we absolutely love one thing, sports, but we also love another thing, our audience. We want to make sure you guys are entertained. We want to make sure that you guys know that you guys have this voice. It's not just me speaking aimlessly in this mic and, reading chats off to my top right corner. It's not all about that. The podcast is a hell of a lot better when people actually do send chats. I guarantee you that. So this is an amazing podcast, an amazing network that wants to basically fuel our success on, you guys. We want to make sure you guys are heard. We want to make sure you guys are, happy. We want to make sure you guys keep sending chats. Imagine a sports show. Obviously, you don't see this on ESPN. You don't see this on Fox Sports West or Fox Sports whatever with Colin Cowherd's show, or, Skip Bayless, or, what is it, Undisputed, like, where people like, you know what, I'm going to send in a, comment. Imagine I have like someone Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, Jason McIntyre, or, Colin Cowherd, like reading, and you're like, oh my God, okay. My man, this from that, giving me a chat from this, and like, it would be amazing. I feel like overall it'd be great, but that's not technically the issue. But here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of you guys, 1,010%. Make sure you tune into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast every Monday through Friday. We also have a lot of awesome other podcasts that'll help you lose your mind in terms of just sports. Sports is a fanatic. We are fanatics. We go 0 to 100 every single time you see, like if you're a soccer fan, we go 0 to 100 the moment someone scores a goal. As a baseball fan, if someone hits a home run, oh my God, everybody in the stadium is on their feet. And in the NFL, someone scores a touchdown, it's awesome. Also, if you have a pass interference flag, and a lot of people are like, hey, F you, like, but no, I'm just kidding. But overall, make sure you tune into all the GSMC sports podcasts here. And yeah. All right, we recently talked about Shane McMahon, talked about a possible AEW invasion. So now we're going to talk about my WWE Bash at Berlin preview. So let's go and do it. We are live, Germany, Saturday, and we have a couple of matches. Obviously, not a lot of matches that I kind of hoped for, but it's still young. I thought for sure we were gonna get like a tribal combat match between Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get that, which kind of sucks. We're not gonna see Nia Jax, compete for a title. Once again, Liv Morgan will not defend her title. Uh, you know, I know what Triple H, means in terms of quality over quantity, but dude, like, this has got to stop. This honestly really has to stop. Like, you only have 5 matches. Yeah, five. Yeah, what? 5 matches? Yeah, 5 match, and it's ridiculous. It's bad. Wrestling fans, they hate it. I know for a fact I hate it. I hate it to my core. Absolutely, 1,010%. Why defend the WWE Tag Team titles 2 weeks before Bash of Berlin if you can have it at Bash of Berlin? It just doesn't make sense. Why have an open U.S. United States Championship match if you can have an open challenge at Bash of Berlin? Like, it's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. I just feel like it could be a lot better. All right, so we have Cody Rhodes, the WWE Undisputed Champion, the American Nightmare, taking on Kevin Owens. To be honest, Kevin Owens really doesn't get a lot of shots at the brass ring, but I don't really see Cody Rhodes losing this match. I could possibly see a Kevin Owens like turn, but he's used to that. Like, what if something different happens, like where you see Cody Rhodes at the end of the match, think that Kevin Owens is going to attack him, that he makes an example out of him, be like, don't, technically you can be the good guy and the bad guy at the same time. And I feel like that's what wrestling creativity has to kind of, swallow a little bit. Be like, you know what, Cody Rhodes comes on the screen, Monday Night Raw, explaining why he attacked and brutalized and diminished Kevin Owens because he feared for his own life. Fans might be into it, fans might not be. But overall, I think the WWE Undisputed Championship isn't going anywhere. Cody Rhodes will win this match. All right, so next we see what's the next match? We have the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. The Unholy Union taking on Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. This match has high potential. This match 1,010% has high potential because you could possibly see the last match, with the team of Cargill, also Bianca Belair, and I think it's about time. I've been kind of waiting for this for such a long. I thought it was going to happen at SummerSlam, didn't happen. Maybe a shot that it happens at Clash at the Castle, didn't really happen. Maybe at Bad Blood, you kind of have these girls kind of go one-on-one with each other after one screws the other one tonight or tomorrow night, technically. Well, it's 10 a.m. tomorrow. But overall, it's just, I don't know. I want to see something better in Jade, in Bianca. Every single time you see the unholy union go out there and win, it's not, they win by cheating, not really gaining fans in that sort of aspect. You're kind of leaving fans very blind. Kind of leaving them very blind because they want to see the reason why they win. They want to see storylines. That is professional wrestling. It's like, oh, the Unholy Union's taking on Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's World Tag Team Championships. It doesn't make sense if you don't have like a storyline. And the best storyline that has become a part of this, after you've seen the Unholy Union would be, even with the assistance of Blair Davenport, feat Belair and Cargill, it's about time. Then you have a Bad Blood match between the two in a month, and overall, I think it's going to be sick. Next, we have a strap match between CM Punk taking on Drew McIntyre. Honestly, I'm done with this feud. I was done after the Money in the Bank, but Drew McIntyre cut an awesome promo last Monday night on Raw. And I'm over this whole bracelet thing. Like, dude, like, it's cool that you love your dog and your wife. Everybody loves their freaking dog and their wife, dude. Like, you're like, it's not something special. And he's like, he keeps reiterating saying that CM Punk says that, it means sentimental value. Like, dude, are you really hanging the balance of this bracelet like the prestige of winning the WWE Championship? Obviously, if Seth Rollins never got injured and CM Punk never got injured on the road to WrestleMania, this storyline between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk would never ever have dreamed of happening. I feel like right now you would have had Seth and Punk going at it. Not too sure if the bracelet was going to be a main pivotal event for it. But overall, I just, I'm over this bracelet thing. I'm done. I just don't think it's, that cool to kind of fight over. I get it. And WWE fans on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, you see all the posts like, "Oh, what's Drew McIntyre gonna do with the bracelet? Is he gonna break it apart?" Like, what I mean? Like, at this point, like, I don't really care. I kind of hope there was a title kind of hanging in the balance, so to speak. But I don't know. Overall, I think it's kind of taking its toll. Next, we have a mixed tag team match between Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley again winning against Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. I think Priest and Rhea will win this comfortably. They're going to win this convincingly, so it's not really much to talk about. And then our main event, we're going to have our WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther taking on Randy Orton. Once again, WWE, kind of showing why they always kind of pander to the person that, you have your own, you kind of have your own field advantage. And, there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to see, Gunther retain his championship. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our fifth and final segment. Going to give you guys some awesome wrestling headlines that I'm going to check from Ringside News, Cage Side Seats. Also, inside? No, not inside. Ringside? No. But we're just going to talk about all the wrestling headlines coming back. So, hey, do not go anywhere. All right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, from promotions from WWE to AEW, Ring of Honor, TNA. And we're going to talk about some awesome, wrestling news to kind of hang over, your head heading into the weekend. All right. So first, we're going to talk about our main headline. We have Ricochet, former WWE Intercontinental Champion, believes that his leaving for WWE to AEW was the right choice. Not really, not really a surprise there. I feel like Ricochet really deserved to be in the WWE, deserved to be in the WWE. But they didn't do anything with it. They didn't do any, they didn't do crap. The booking was bad. Their matches were terrible. They had this like, all right, let's let Ricochet shine on speed. We're gonna let him fight 3-minute matches. We're not gonna let him fight on Raw. We're not gonna let him fight on SmackDown. And if he does, he's gonna lose and kind of be a jobber, a glorified jobber. And it just wasn't good enough. It just wasn't good enough. WWE overall tarnished the reputation of Ricochet. I like to compare it to, imagine if you're that kid, playing with other kids and like you see somebody have a cooler toy, like Ricochet was metaphorically, where he was killing it on the independence scene. He was being noticed all over the world. And then WWE's like, we got to sign this guy, but not to promote him, not to make him a champion. Like they made him a champion once, but dude, come on. Like, come on, an Intercontinental Championship once, WWE Speed Inaugural Champion. Yeah, that, adds to the resume, I guess. But overall, something's got to give. And, they wasted Ricochet. WWE absolutely 1,010% wasted Ricochet. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just, kind of crazy. All right. Next, we have Cody Rhodes on, Cody Rhodes is interested in a rematch with Roman Reigns. And a lot of these people don't really, a lot of wrestling fans, and I feel like it's going to shift. I feel like for professional wrestling, they kind of stick it to wrestling fans, obliviously have them root for the bad guy, have them root for the person that they were wishing to lose at WrestleMania 40. You could have a match between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, or maybe perhaps you kind of have Cody coming off as like a little corporate, kind of jerk here, which I really honestly don't think that they should do. But then you have Roman Reigns, coming back as a true tribal chief. But overall, it could be something that's been, I don't know, just been speculated for a long time. So I don't know. It could be kind of crazy. All right. So once again, we have Shane McMahon in the news about him, possible some AEW people to join his faction besides John Moxley. Obviously, you have a lot of people, a lot of talent on AEW, like Daniel Garcia, Brian Danielson. He is part of the Blackpool Combat Club, so I'm not too sure what's going to happen with that. You can also have a lot of people outside in terms of free agents, like Bobby Lashley could possibly be the person to do that. But it's not the easiest thing to do. Not the easiest thing to do to have someone like Shane McMahon come in and be like, I am Vince McMahon's son. You are always, always, always are going to have your dad's name attached to your name throughout your whole entire lifetime. And it's something that it can't be avoided. And it sucks. It sucks 1,010% because you are not like your father. Shane McMahon is actually quite the opposite. He's a loving family man. He's not the person that tries to seduce Trish Stratus and other WWE allegedly into coercing him into like sexual acts or anything like that. But I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. All right, next, Matt Cardona is in the news saying that he is not medically clear to fight on TNA Emergence, but he does have a surprise opponent for PCO. Matt Cardona, ever since he made his debut back into Ring of Honor or TNA, but it's just such a wasted talent, such a wasted WWE talent. Once again, you got Nick Nemeth from WWE, and then you have Matt Cardona killing it. And I don't know, it's kind of crazy, All right, so Mercedes Moné is forming a tag team with Megan Thee Stallion. A lot of speculations recently in the wrestling world stated that Mercedes Moné was looking for like another entertainment partner. Obviously, Megan Thee Stallion is, bigger. She's. I don't want to say the next great thing because I'm not a huge fan of the music, but overall, if somebody from entertainment wants to associate themselves with an AEW wrestler, it can only be good things. It can only be good things. All right, next we have a little sensitive subject here. We have Arden, Chig, Vix, Chicks, I don't know. He's the husband of Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella? Yeah, Nikki Bella, who's been accused of of battery. And Arda alleges that Nikki Bella threw shoes at him, leading to his arrest. When it comes to certain things that I can't even say this without like trying to like make it go the wrong way because it's so hard. But overall, like, don't abuse your wife, bro. Like don't like don't, like things could be, allegedly, like, just be a good person. And that goes for absolutely everybody tuning in tonight. Just be a good person, be patient with your loved ones. 1,010%. Just make sure that you guys are, whenever there's an argument, you're not arguing to win. Never, ever, ever in an argument with your spouse, you are arguing to win. You're arguing to resolve the problem. Because if both you guys are, arguing to make sure the other person understands your perspective in an aggressive way, it's not really going to end up that way. But if both you guys take some time, listen to each other's feelings, swallow your pride a little bit, take a deep breath, and be like, look, like, it's kind of crazy how I'm providing a marriage counseling on a wrestling podcast, but here we are. Just kidding. Next, we have Baron Corbin. We have a major news headline. Baron Corbin says he would gladly accept a Taylor Swift appearance with TNA. Who wouldn't at this point? And I don't want to get into this whole conspiracy theory that the reason why the Kansas City Chiefs won the NFL Super Bowl this year was because of Taylor Swift. Although they were doing absolute ass, they were crazy, they were terrible. The moment you saw Travis Kelce date Taylor Swift, they all of a sudden flipped the switch. I just flipped the switch. And it's, oh God, like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but so we're going to move on. We're going to move on. All right. So we have, dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Kevin Owens' contract is still not being matched by AEW. I feel like Kevin Owens right now, he's a great superstar on Raw, SmackDown, WWE in general. But I honestly feel like he would grow better in AEW. He was the Universal Champion for quite some time, obviously, with his right-hand man, Chris Jericho. And it, I can't even explain it because Kevin Owens is such a gifted superstar. And WWE really has not given him a chance because you have all these other wrestlers that you're trying to promote. You have wrestlers that you've kind of stuck in, like, Finn Balor, Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. And then on SmackDown, you have the whole bloodline thing coming into order. And, Kevin Owens, where does he fit with that? I don't think he does. If Kevin Owens makes his debut in AEW, he could very much be, within the first couple of months, an AEW World Heavyweight Champion or a TNT Champion. Can I see Kevin Owens holding the Intercontinental Championship? No. Can I see Kevin Owens holding the United States Championship? I don't think so. They more or less save those championships for people that are actually like in that division and they're trying to promote in terms of WWE. But right now, Kevin Owens is kind of stuck in the middle a little bit. Doesn't really kind of, have a little bit of leverage. But I feel like Kevin Owens is such a great superstar. Will he ever get a title in the WWE again? I honestly, at this point, looking at all the talent around him and the storylines, what's a good storyline if Kevin Owens wins the championship? There's no such thing. There's no such thing as a storyline that makes sense if Kevin Owens wins the championship. Maybe if he screws over, Cody Rhodes or like something. But then again, it's just, and then what are you going to do with the next PLE? What are you going to do with the next PLE if you have Kevin Owens, the WWE Undisputed Champion? He's gonna lose it, and it's just so sad. It's just so crazy. But overall, I just hope that WWE knows what they're doing. I, was kind of skeptical about him going to AEW. I feel like that'd be pretty badass, but I don't know. It's kind of crazy. All right, guys. So hey, that's it for me today. From the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. Have an amazing, beautiful Labor Day weekend. Hug your loved ones longer. Play a board game. Sometimes people often, over contemplate the vision of a board game. You kind of do it for fun. Sometimes video games it's just boring. It's just boring. Sit down with your kids, have fun, get to know them, get to know, your wife again, get to know your husband again during this time. Oh my God, here we go. Parents counseling again. What the hell, man? I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just kidding. But anyways, thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010% of the time. And if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, we got football. The NFL is right around the corner, and I can't wait. Oh my God, I can't wait to hear Al Michaels on Thursday Night Football. I can't wait to hear Mike Tirico, also Chris Collinsworth, breaking on a play that he kind of like babysits a little bit. Oh, you can see that, through this throw, he was meaning to throw it to this receiver. Like, I love him. I'm not trying to throw shade or I'm not trying to talk mess, but I don't know. It should be crazy. Monday Night Football, Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, the former Dallas Cowboy quarterback. I just can't. I love football. I love football. I'm part of multiple fantasy leagues. I have another draft coming up this week. I do have Lamar Jackson in one of my drafts. Pretty excited. So if you want to find out about all your professional football news, tune into the GSMC Football Podcast with my boy Kenneth, the GSMC Chip Chop Football Podcast with my man Manny. We also got fantasy sports, fantasy football. Find your startums, your sit-dums, your draftums, your overrated, your don't draftums with my boy Chris Shepard on the GSMC Fantasy Sports Podcast. We also got my boy Nelson with the GSMC Basketball Podcast. We got Tommy, man, my boy Tommy. I don't know why whenever I say Tommy, I have this Italian accent. My boy Tommy, man. You don't want to upset Tommy, the GSMC, college football host. Like, he's going to make sure you go sleepy with the fishes. I'm just kidding, no. But overall, he has a great, if you're a college football fan, make sure you tune into that. We also have, my boy Emran, coming up in a mere 24 minutes of talking all your cool GSMC soccer podcast, cool factoids. So make sure you tune into that. We got the GSMC Sports Podcast with my boy, TJ Mavardi. We also have Sports by GSMC by Jeremy Lapidus. So make sure you tune into that. It's basically your sports center, but it is 1,010%, absolutely 110% free. The best things in life are free. I don't know if any of you guys heard that song. I might have showed my age, showing you guys that I like that song. I'm just kidding, no. But it is Friday. I'm happy it's Friday. It's crazy. Going into the weekend, have an amazing weekend. Make sure you have fun with your loved ones. Make sure you have an amazing Labor Day weekend. Stay beautiful. Watch the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. Check out my videos. Subscribe. Tune into my show. I'm just kidding. No. That was a little aggressive. That was a little ambitious. I'm sorry. But overall, you guys know what I like to say. And the reason I feel for you is because you don't have to say it back. We'll take it time after time after time. I'll give you your space, give you some time. But overall, love you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.